I came home early with a box of roses and a small velvet case in my jacket pocket. The door swung open on the first try, lights low, the kitchen warm. Chicken roasting, garlic in the air, Sinatra humming from the little speaker. My wife, Lauren, was that woman men talk about and never meet. Soft smile, calm voice, a touch on your shoulder like you matter. That's the love story I was living. Or thought I was. I heard her before I saw her. She was in the bedroom, on speakerphone, closet door half shut. Her tone wasn't the one she used for me. It was sharp, bored. Honestly, he's exhausting. That happy face. I can't stand it. I'm done pretending I adore him. Laughter on the other end. 2 voices, maybe 3. Yeah, the attorney's finishing the paperwork. Finally. I froze in the hallway like a stranger who took a wrong turn into the wrong house. Something cold and simple ran through me. I pulled my phone out. I hit record. I didn't think, just moved my thumb. Once I take the assets, I'm out. Mike's sick of hiding. Thank God for the side entrance, or the neighbors would have already outed me. He'll be home soon, and I have to smile again. Tired of it. I ended the recording and slid the phone into my pocket. Then I backed up, stepped out the front door, and made noise like a man coming home from a long day. Door slam. Keys on the counter. Sweetheart, I'm back. Little early. A beat. The mattress creaked. The closet door clicked. Lauren appeared in the hallway, smile tight, eyes wide. You're early, she said, and her voice cracked just a hair. Beat traffic. I held out the roses. For you. She kissed my cheek. You spoil me. Gonna rinse off, I told her, and I let the velvet case rest on the counter in full view. Long day. The shower ran. I stared at blue tile and let the steam do nothing. My brain walked in circles around the facts I didn't want. The kindest translation still said the same thing. I wasn't confused. I just didn't like the answer. If I'd known where it was headed, I'd have slept instead of showering and saved the hot water for the end. We ate at the island. She asked about my projects, smiled at the right places, set my favorite beer next to the plate without being asked. Anyone watching would have said I married well. I played the part one wrote for myself, nodded where a husband nods, and cleaned my plate. In bed, she traced my shoulder with her fingertips. Rough day, she asked. Just long, I said. Tomorrow will be better. Her head stayed on my chest longer than usual, maybe listening for a tell. I kept my breathing steady. Sleep didn't come, but morning did. I was at the lawyer's office by 8:30. I used a different exit from the parking structure, different coffee shop, different everything. I wasn't hiding from her. I was hiding my timeline from myself, so I didn't speed. The attorney, David Stern, mid-50s, kind eyes, the patience of a man who's heard every version of "it can't be happening to me," watched the video twice with headphones on. He didn't react. He took notes, a short, careful list. Okay, he said, you're going to keep your routine for a bit. Don't confront. Don't tip your hand. You'll install cameras inside, discreet. Hallway, kitchen, side entrance, maybe the mudroom if you have one. Save to the cloud, to a private account she can't access. You'll stay calm. You think I need more than this, I said. I know you do, he replied. What you have proves intent and timing. That's good. What we need is conduct. If another man's in your house, we want that on video. And we want you acting like you know nothing. It removes any argument that you provoked anything. By the way, separate some finances. Quietly. Move your paycheck deposit to a solo account. Leave plenty in the joint so she doesn't get spooked. She's planning to strip me, I said. He folded his hands. Plan what's in your power. Evidence, money, access, schedule. I can do that, I told him. Good. And listen, he added, nodding at my expression, you don't have to like this plan. You just have to run it. On my drive home, I called Lauren. Speaker off, tone light. You need anything from the store? Maybe some avocados, she said. You're sweet. And come home early if you can. I miss you. Working late, I said, and made a mental note. She likes to know when I'll be out of the house. Good to know. At lunch, I texted, Saturday, why don't you do a girl's day? I'll give you the card. Treat yourself. She sent 3 heart emojis and a picture of a sundress she liked. I told her to get it. Saturday morning, I handed her the joint card and kissed her forehead. Go, I said. I'll mow the lawn and fix the upstairs sink. She hesitated at the door, then smiled like a woman with the life she wanted. When her car rolled down the street, I opened the cabinet where my contractor buddy keeps a hiding place, pulled out 2 motion cams and 1 tiny lens that looked like a button, and went to work. Hallway smoke detector swap. Plant in the corner gets a new leaf with a pinhole. Frame in the hallway shifts slightly right. Router set to save footage to an encrypted cloud David gave me. Test. Test again. Good. I texted my neighbor, Mrs. Ruiz, widow, retired nurse, watches the block like a hawk because she cares. Do you still have that spare set to my side gate? Thinking of replacing it. She texted back a thumbs up and a smile. Want me to tell you if I see unfamiliar cars? I didn't ask for that. She offered. Would appreciate it, I replied. And let me know if Mike ever stops by. I didn't write that last line. I wrote, if any men come to the side door. Lauren came home loaded with bags and stories. She laughed about price tags and compliments from strangers. She put on the sundress and did a twirl. You like? It looks good, I said. Keep the receipt. She raised an eyebrow. You think I'm taking it back? Only if you want me to buy the same one next month, I said with a half smile. We both laughed. It landed as a joke and passed like a cloud. That week I moved my direct deposit. I told payroll I was updating for tax reasons. I moved a portion of savings to a solo account and left more than enough to cover bills. I canceled a couple's trip we had scheduled and told Lauren my project deadline shifted. She made a face but nodded. Work is work, she said. We'll reschedule. I changed the garage keypad code and sent her the new one from my work phone with a simple line. Security company recommends regular changes. She replied with a thumbs up. I didn't wait for permission to lock my own door. At the office, my project manager Jason, who wears plaid like a uniform and sees through everyone's small talk, leaned on my cubicle wall. You look like a guy who ate glass, he said. I'm reevaluating some household systems. That a fancy way to say you found a mess? I'm saying I'm making a plan before I start cleaning. Let me know if you need a weekend and a truck, Jason said. I prefer moving furniture to listening to adults argue. 2 days later, Lauren dropped a lunch at my desk unannounced. Turkey wrap. Note stuck to the top. I feel like I've been distant. Sorry if I've taken you for granted. Love you. A little hard at the bottom. Sweet, Jason said, glancing at the note. Either she adores you or she needs a favor. Could be both, I told him. Lauren texted that afternoon. Dinner at Emmett's Friday? Your favorite ribs. She added, we should talk about a weekend away. I want more time with you. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now let's get back to the story. It was the kind of message I used to reread twice. Now I read it once and filed it. Illusion of change, maybe. Either way, it didn't change what I knew. I replied, Friday works. Let's keep it simple. Early night. That evening, Mrs. Ruiz knocked on the side gate as I took out the trash. She held a folded paper towel like a nurse delivering bad news gently. I saw a gray sedan out front yesterday around 1, she said. Parked 2 houses down. A man with a cap used the side entrance. He kept his head down. You weren't home. Thanks, I said. I appreciate your eyes. You two okay? She asked. We will be, I told her. Friday at Emmett's, we sat in a booth. Lauren held my hand across the table. She wore the sundress. She ordered my favorite starter before I asked. The waitress smiled like she was happy to see us. Tell me what's going on, Lauren said. You've been distracted. Work is heavy. That's what you always say. It's the truth. I miss you, she said, voice dropping. I know I've been in my head. I'm trying. I'm not perfect. I'm not asking you to be perfect, I said. I'm asking for real. I'm here, she replied, and squeezed my fingers. Good, I said. Because starting next month, we're simplifying. Separate budgets for a bit. Joint account stays for bills, but I'm going to manage my own savings and day-to-day. I need clarity. Her face stiffened. Clarity. Predictability. Less overlap. Less confusion. So an allowance? Boundaries, I said. Clean lines. She set her fork down. That's not very romantic. I'm not aiming for romantic. I'm aiming for fair. She looked at me a long moment. Then she softened her shoulders. If it helps you breathe easier, okay. Good, I said, and took a sip of water. Also, I'm shifting my hours. Early mornings, home earlier some days. I'll let you know each week. There's going to be less wiggle room. She tensed at that, and then turned the smile back on. We'll make it work. I'll plan around you. I'm sure you will, I said. We ate. We joked about a guy at the next table who talked like a sports radio host. She asked about my mom's birthday. On the way to the car, she slipped her hand around my arm and put her head on my shoulder like we were in a photo. It looked right. It felt like a staged set. Saturday at noon, while I was at the hardware store, the hallway camera pinged. Motion detected. The side entrance camera followed. Door open. A man shaped like the kind who blends. Cap, jacket, careful. He moved like he knew the house. He was tall enough to hit his head on the wind chime and turned it with 2 fingers to keep it quiet. He went down the hall. The bedroom door closed. I drove home with paint and sandpaper I didn't need. I unloaded slowly, one bag at a time, while the feed recorded. I sat in the truck after I parked and stared at the backyard fence like it might tell me what kind of man I was. The kind who barges in and blasts, or the kind who plays it like chess. I thought about David's face and the way he said, "Run the plan." I ran it. The man left an hour later, cap low, head down. The camera in the plant caught his face on the turn. Not a full shot, but enough. Lauren came out 15 minutes after that, hair tied back, yoga mat under her arm, like she was just now heading to a class. The feed didn't judge her. It just saw. I uploaded the clip to the private folder and forwarded the link to David with one sentence. "We're there." He called within 10 minutes. "That's what we needed," he said. "From here you can do what you want. You have leverage, and you have options. Keep your voice even. Don't touch anyone. Don't play hero. You're the one leaving this story with your head up." "Copy," I said. "You okay?" he asked. "I'm clear," I answered. On the way home, I stopped by a storage unit office and rented a small unit month to month. I boxed my personal files, tax returns, certifications, old family pictures, and slid them into the trunk. Back at the house, I placed one suitcase on the bed and opened drawers, not mine. I laid out basics for Lauren the way I'd pack for a long trip. I didn't throw anything. I didn't rip. I folded. I changed the guest room lock code. I placed the velvet ring box on my nightstand and closed it. The front door clicked at 6. Lauren came in with a smile preloaded and an open hug. I stepped back. Her arms hung in the air half a second, then fell. "What happened?" she asked. "Nothing happened," I said. "Something ended." She blinked. "What? You don't live here anymore." She laughed, short. "You're joking." "No joke," I said. "I'm done. Pack essentials. I'll have the rest delivered." "What are you talking about?" She looked at the suitcase, then at me. "Are you sick? Did something happen at work?" "Mike," I said and watched her face. There it was, the flinch. Not denial, not confusion. Calculation. "Oh," she said. Her shoulders straightened. "So you figured it out?" "I figured out enough," I replied. "You should have spoken to me," she said. "You don't even know the whole picture." "You're right. I don't need it." She exhaled, smile slowly curdling into something else. "You know there's paperwork ready, right? You don't dictate terms here." "I do. I'm taking this house. You can start packing." I tipped my head toward the hallway camera, the one disguised as a decorative frame. "Look at the plant, Lauren. Tell me what you see." She followed my eyes. Her face drained. "How long?" she asked. "Long enough," I said. "That's illegal," she said. "No, it's not," I replied. "It's my house." "I was going to tell you," she tried. "Sure," I said. "In a year. After a nice dinner. After my signature on the dotted line." "You're being cruel," she said, lifting her chin. "One mistake, and you're throwing away everything." "One mistake." I repeated. "Which one? The phone call? The schedule? The side door? Or the way you rehearsed your smile for my benefit like I'm your audience?" She swallowed. "You don't have to be mean." "I'm not being mean," I said. "I'm being precise." "You don't know what it's been like for me," she said. "You're gone all the time. You bury yourself in projects. I've been lonely. So you found company," I said. "And now you're found out. Pack." She tried another angle, eyes wet. "We can fix this." "We already did," I said. "I fixed it by ending it." "Stop acting like you're above this," she said, voice sharpening. "You think you're so steady and wise. Newsflash, you were easy. You swallowed every act I put on. It was boring. Then you should be grateful," I said. "It gave you a roof." She stared at the suitcase. She looked for the lever that used to move me. Sympathy, guilt, humor. She tried one more. "I made dinner," she said. "Your favorite." "Leave it in the fridge for tomorrow's trash," I answered. Her jaw worked. This isn't over, she said. It is for me, I told her. You've got an hour. She tossed clothes into the suitcase with angry, efficient hands. She grabbed her toiletries and her phone charger, put the sundress back on its hanger, and then changed her mind and shoved it in. She turned at the door, eyes bright with fury and, beneath it, fear. What are you going to tell people? She asked. The truth, I said. That I ended a bad deal. You won't get away with this, she said. I'm not trying to get away with anything, I replied. I'm getting back to my life. She sucked in a breath like she'd say something else. The side door opened. My buddy Nate, who lives around the corner and borrows my ladder every other month, stuck his head in. Hey, man, that ladder, he stopped, taking in the scene. His eyes flicked to Lauren, then to the suitcase. Good timing, I said. Grab the ladder from the garage, would you? And hang on to the spare key you've got for a week. I'll text you when I'm done changing codes. Nate nodded slowly. You got it. Lauren glared. Seriously? Public boundary, I said, not to her, but to myself. New rule. Witnesses help everyone behave. She dragged the suitcase out. The wheels made a sound on the threshold, then silence. Nate set the ladder against the wall, stepped into the kitchen, and scratched his cheek. You want me to stick around? He asked. I'm fine, I said. Thanks. You know where I am, he said, and left it at that. I called David. Done, I said. She's out. Good, he replied. Change the locks. Email me the footage links and a short timeline. From here, it'll move. What about the house? I asked. You stay calm. You keep paying the bills. You keep records. This isn't a mystery novel. It's process. That's what I needed to hear, I said. The locksmith came at 9 the next morning. I slept hard for 3 hours and got up like a man who finished a big job and found another waiting. I took the roast out of the fridge and dumped it in the trash. I wiped the counter. I put the ring box back in the safe. Lauren didn't call that day. She texted 2 days later. Can we talk? I panicked. No, I wrote. Please. I said terrible things. I was angry. I was cornered. So was I replied. I handled it. This is a marriage, she wrote. We don't throw it away because I messed up. We don't throw it away because you messed up, I answered. We end it because you corrupted it. That's dramatic, she wrote. Not in the slightest, I sent back. She tried a different path. A picture of a note on my pillow, same handwriting as the lunch note, same heart. I miss you. I didn't reply. I changed my email password, then the streaming logins, then the security questions on accounts that had my mother's maiden name. I removed her face from the garage app and the smart thermostat. Not petty, not revenge. Access, control. My house, my pace. The next week at work, mid-afternoon, our office manager stuck her head into the conference room. There's a woman here to see you, she said. She says it's important. Tell her I'm in a meeting, I said. Lauren's voice cut through from the hallway. It's my husband. I stepped out. Jason looked up from his laptop, just because he's a busybody when he needs to be. A couple of designers glanced over the cubicle wall. Lauren lifted her chin, every inch the composed spouse. We should talk in private, she said. We are in public on purpose, I told her. What do you need? This is too cold, she said. You don't mean this. I meant every word, I said. You're not welcome at my job. If you need to coordinate logistics, email David. That's the channel. You're embarrassing me, she whispered. You manage that yourself, I told her. We're done. Please leave. She worked her jaw like a chewer with no gum left and turned on her heel. Jason whistled low as she walked out. You sure you don't want me to get the truck and the furniture dolly? He said. We're past that, I replied. 2 weeks of quiet. Then the filings landed. We didn't do a courtroom dance. We did papers, signatures, notarized stamps, and an agreement that reflected reality. A month later, the settlement came back like David said it would, because facts matter when you keep your head. The house stayed mine. Accounts split by dates. Clean cuts. She didn't fight. Maybe she couldn't. Maybe Mike didn't look as steady in daylight as he did in the hallway. Not my problem. After the final day of signatures, Lauren called. My phone flashed her name. I let it ring out. Then she texted. You ended our life over 1 lapse. I typed back. You ended it slowly over months. I finished the paperwork. She replied, Mike and I are done. He panicked. You made me look like a monster. I didn't make you look like anything, I wrote. I pressed record. A minute. Then, I'm sorry. I got lost. Please talk to me. One time, I typed, you were the person I would have given everything to. I was wrong about who that was. Take care of yourself. Then I blocked her number. Here's the part no one likes to hear. The day after you close a door like that, the house is too quiet. The coffee tastes flat. You'll look at the couch and see the person who used to sit there. You'll try to remember a night that's safe to remember, and your brain will throw a different night in your face. I let all of that roll through without giving it a speech. Then I got up and did my push-ups, cleaned my office, and wrote 3 emails I'd put off since spring. 3 months later, my house looked different. New paint. The same furniture, moved. The bedroom cleaner than it ever was. The backyard grill finally fixed. I added a workbench in the garage and a pegboard with every tool hanging where it belonged. I started running at 6, a loop past the high school and the little park with the crooked swing. Sometimes Mrs. Ruiz waved from her porch with her mug and her robe. Looking strong, she said. Thank you, I said back. My truck, no logos, no shine, ran better than it had in years because I stopped talking about maintenance and did it. I met someone in a way that doesn't make for good television. Her name is Dana. She's a physical therapist. She's direct and busy in a way that looks like peace. We met because I wrenched my shoulder in the garage and went in for one session and ended up telling her I finally solved a house problem. She laughed at the right line. We got coffee once. I didn't sell her a romance. I told her the truth. I've got room for respect, not drama. She said, same policy, took a sip, and changed the subject to trails outside town. On Tuesday nights, I sit at the diner on Route 9 with Jason and Nate. We complain about sports and neighbors and the price of lumber like we're 60. They roll their eyes at me when I start to sound smug. You're allowed to enjoy the win, Jason says, but don't turn into a TED Talk. Fair. As for Lauren, I only know what the world shows without asking. Mrs. Ruiz mentioned she saw her car parked outside a small apartment complex near the freeway. A neighbor told me Mike hasn't been around. A friend of a friend said she took a job at a boutique downtown. That's fine. She'll land where she lands. She's not my weather report anymore. Sometimes I find the velvet ring box when I open the safe for something else. I don't throw it away. It reminds me what I was ready to give for a story that wasn't real. It also reminds me I don't have to be a saint to be solid. You don't need a righteous speech. You need a boundary and a timeline. The last time I saw Lauren in person, I was pulling into the driveway on a Saturday. Dana was in the passenger seat, pointing at the dying hydrangea like a problem to solve. Lauren was standing on the sidewalk with a grocery bag and a face that looked like she hadn't slept. She froze when she saw us, then put the bag down and lifted a hand. I didn't know you'd be back this early, she said. I don't report to you, I answered. She looked at Dana, then back at me. Can we talk for 1 minute? No, I said. We talked. It's over. She stepped closer. I'm sorry, she said again, quieter this time, like she meant it. I hope you figure out your life, I told her. Not here. She stared at the house. There was a time that stare would have cut me. It didn't. She nodded once, picked up her bag, and walked away. Dana didn't ask questions. She looked at me and said, hydrangeas are dramatic. We'll water it and cut it back. We did. It bloomed 2 months later like nothing had happened. If you're waiting for a big speech or a twist, I don't have one. I have a truth that fits in a single sentence. You don't lose when someone plays you. You lose when you keep playing after you see the rules. When Lauren laughed on a phone call in my house, I learned the rules. Everything after that was a straight line. The night I told her to pack, she paused in the doorway, all heat and outrage, and asked, what's the line you'll remember saying when you're alone? I didn't give it to her then. I save good lines for endings. Here it is, finally. I love the version of you that loved me. If that woman shows up again in your life, treat her better than you treated me. Then I shut the door. And that's it. I didn't burn down the past. I built a door and walked through it. The world on the other side is smaller than I imagined and bigger where it matters. I have my house, my time, my sleep, my people. She has whatever she wanted badly enough to gamble for. It looks different from the outside than it did in her head. Not my business. Mine is simple. Keep the gate locked, keep the camera pointed where it needs to be, and don't let anyone rehearse a smile on my time.